Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be water elemental reading for November 1st through the 30th. I only focused it to here. So we've got November, we've got the 1st through the 30th, sort of visual representation here. And we're dealing with the moon as an energy, we're dealing with Pluto as an energy, and we're dealing with Neptune as an energy. So if you want to watch this for your horoscope, you would be watching or cross-watching for Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. I'm going to leave them turned towards the planets. We're dealing with Neptune retrograde. Pluto went direct at the beginning of October, so there might be a little bit of post shadow still, but it should be fine. And the moon, we have the new moon on the 5th in Scorpio, which is that plutonic water energy. And then we have the full moon in Taurus on the 19th, and that's going to be talking to the Uranus retrograde in Taurus, and Neptune is retrograde in Pisces the whole month. So there's a movement of Mercury and Venus at the same time as the new moon. They're not going to be in the same sign, but they're moving at the same time. And we've got a repeater of moon energy from the 1st of November when it's in Virgo to the 27th and 28th of November when it's in Virgo again. I'm going to sneeze. And then on the 2nd and 3rd, the moon is in Libra, which is, I believe, Two of Swords energy. And then on the 29th and 30th, it's going to be in Libra again. So there's going to be whatever moon energy is dishing out on the 1st and 2nd of November. We're going to go through that new moon in Scorpio with those other planets scampering about through the back door. And that intense full moon in Taurus with dipping its toe in the Aquarian waters. There's going to be a repeat of that energy, and it's sort of like, okay, what did you learn since last time from the 27th through the end of the month, right? So immediately following Turkey Day here in the United States, sorry, there's going to be like immediate, like, what did you learn? So don't get too drunk on those, that tryptophan. Couldn't remember the word for a second. Okay, so I did clear and shuffle these cards already. These are the Lucy Cavendish Blessed Be cards. And then I'm using also my bucket of charms, which I did shake up already. So the readings, the spread, I always say that wrong. The spread that I'm doing for this November series is a 9 grid, and usually when I offer it's Lenormand, but it doesn't have to be. And if you really want something besides Lenormand, you could request if you order a reading. But it's made for Lenormand because Lenormand is designed to be read as a like all laid out on the table in a grid. So I have a 9 grid, I have a 16 grid, but I'm doing the 9 right now. So instead of Lenormand, I'm using these Blessed Be decks for the grid, and then instead of getting a 10th card as an oracle card, I'm using the charms instead. And you can get a copy of these charms, these paper ones. These are made on printer cardstock. There's a downloadable one you print out for yourself. There's 205 charms. And then I have 2 printed proof sets with extra goodies. that are available in my Etsy shop, but you can get the downloadable version on DeviantArt or in my Etsy shop. Okay. I wasn't ready yet, but there we go. Let me get a couple more. Alright. I was not ready for the charms to come out, but they've been waiting for hours since I set up the table. I didn't, I was uploading some other videos and scheduling the advertisements, so I didn't, I've had this stuff sitting out here for a while. Okay. I don't know if they're all going to fit in the camera at once, so I'm going to have to readjust after. Hopefully the battery will cooperate. I'll put this up here for now. These are kind of large to, holy crap. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, did I count that right? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one more. This one's looking at me. It was chaotic and fast. So we have like a, like the water is moving quickly, like whitewater rafting, maybe the whitewater as a scandal. I don't remember what that was, but there was something coming up. Okay. Make sure it's kind of in focus. Kind of. Okay, I'll check it after. Alright, so the charms, which in place of the oracle card, is going to tell us what this reading is about. So I have my big honking angry goose, which really has been wanting to pop out all the time lately. I have the dodecahedron. I think the dodecahedron is spirit and the icosahedron is water. But I'd have to double check. I should probably double check. I gotta look it up. Okay, platonic solids as elements. Yeah, it is. The icosahedron is water, and the dodecahedron is apparently the universe, but also spirits. Okay. So for the purposes of this reading, the dodecahedron is being played by the universe. So I have the 8-ball, magic 8-ball. Notice that there's a triangle on there. So is that? I guess that's in focus. It does make the 8 of Wands come to mind, but not necessarily. So I have the cup here. So we possibly the Ace of Cups, maybe. And then I have the speakers. Although here they really, really, really want to be washing machines lately. Washer dryer set. They're supposed to be speakers. But we're dealing with water energy. I have an 8-ball full of fluid. I have a dodecahedron, which I still have a hard time remembering if it's water. I have the cup, that's water. I have speakers, which is waveforms, but which is fluid, but also washer and dryer indicates water. And then the goose, which is an aquatic, semi-aquatic. So inverted, I have the peace sign, and I believe that's algaes, resistance. And then I have the moon inverted. All right, so water energy there. It's making me think of the chariot, like a chariot inverted. Something's not moving. Resistance means that it's not moving, right? It's like a stubborn donkey kind of energy. And then I have the mittens, which is what you would wear when it's snowing out, which is frozen water. So the resistance in a water that's not moving could be frozen, right? The axle's frozen. It's winter, like winter is coming. And in the northern hemisphere, if you're looking at November, then winter is definitely coming. It's also making me think of, like, if we have the universe and we have a chariot and we have it's going to be cold, I'm looking at a space launch. Now, we do know that there's the whole bored billionaire space race happening. We got, I don't know why I keep trying to say Charlton Heston. William Shatner, 90 years old, getting floated up in there. So here there's some kind of, and with it being frozen, it could just be, it's going to be cold out there in space, right? A little bit of ground control to Major Tom, but also might indicate something going wrong. Hopefully not like this week, but, well, hopefully by the time this comes out, there will not have been a disaster, because we're looking at the energies for November. We're not looking at stuff that happened in October. But it's also something going on in the winter. If it's in the southern hemisphere, it could be something that's scheduled now that's not happening until it's winter in the southern hemisphere. Because there's certain astronomical things that are more favorable in the southern hemisphere. So we might be looking at something that's being set up now that's not going to happen for several months. Now, this 8-ball, it's like it's going into the pocket, like a billiard. But we asked the 8-ball something. The goose is the animal for December. If it's speakers, there's an announcement about something that's happening either in the winter, but whether it's winter in North Hemisphere or winter in Southern Hemisphere is yet to be determined. Magic 8-ball, when is it happening, right? It might be in 8 months. And I'm like, well, what if this is wrong? It feels like I've been put in a washing machine. Do you copy? Floating around. But what about the Ace of Cups energy? It's the Holy Grail, right? This is like what we've been looking for the whole time. I mean, this might have to do with disclosure. This is kind of weird. So I'm going to flip over the cards and then see if the charms still hold meaning for that, because it's I mean, usually when I do a bunch of Lenormand 9 grids, especially if I do pick a pile, there's one that's always more about society than individual stuff. Yeah, and the battery's gonna go, so I better change the battery before I get into this reading. Okay, I think these are slightly more in focus. I'm going to turn these over, so we're going to see them all at the same time. And this is a little bit weird because these are kind of more like oracle cards, but we'll see what we've got. So in the center, we have a blessing for those who are nearing their final breath, which sounds like not very good. But it's inverted, which means there's a confusion or delay. But we already know that there's a message that we're not quite getting because of the 8-ball. It's like, what's going on here? We have 43, which breaks down to 7. Blessing for those who are nearing their final breath. It's almost like my whole life flashed before me. I thought I was a goner. Blessing for those... A blessing for healing of injury or illness, 42, breaking down to 6. right? It's like, it's a little bit Sleeping Beauty energy. Like, she's gonna die on her 16th birthday. It's like, no, just kidding. You're just gonna be asleep for 100 years, right? Emergency, we're going to the cryo tubes, and we'll thaw you out once there's been repairs. Right, you know, like movies, space movies, it's always like remaining energy to life support systems. A blessing to heal a relationship, 28, breaking down to 10. This is so weird. I'm gonna cross first. A blessing to find your way, 24, also breaking down to 6. Notice how these two opposites are kitty-cornered, right? This is like we're lost in space. Right? We're unprotected. A blessing on your health, number 9. Coming in, oh, that's not a 9, that's a 7. That's weird. Number 9, a blessing on your health. With that cup in hand. The cup. We have a dragon here as well, which is a fire elemental. This is inverted too. It's like I'm not getting well, but there's like external, like within the core, there's like I'm sick. I think I'm dying. We've lost the medicine or something, right? The doctor was the first one to go. But over here, it's like there's another force coming in from a different angle that's healing things on a structural and emotional level. Or like a communicative level. Two sixes, 7. The 8 ball is 8, 9, 10. Interesting. 41. Okay, so there's a 5 that I was expecting. A blessing for solace and hope. This is a winter energy, right? It's lonely out in space. Rockin' man. But it's coming in inverted, right? It seems like there's no hope. I was reading like a science fiction movie. So here's a 3, 30, a blessing to lift sadness. Direct opposite of this solace and hope. Right over this healing a relationship. Right, there's like a trust issue. Is that in the trust issue? Blessing for the right words, 26. So there's an 8 that's missing in the cards. So we have 26, 28, 30. We're going up by small increments to another completion. This is, I'm trying to find the right words to heal this relationship, to lift the sadness because of some kind of bad communication. Somebody like jammed the communication. Somebody messed up the system. Somebody switched the assignment communique. Somebody changed our orders illegally. Somebody gave us the wrong coordinates. So we have a blessing on a homecoming, 44. This is also an 8, opposite this other 8. Right? It was like we're not coming home in a hurry, but this looks like springtime energy. This is like after the winter, but it's on a delay. So 41, 42, and 44 over here. It's like you can't come home until you've fixed yourself, until you're well. You can't come home until you fix the radio signal. You can't come home until the ship is repaired and more systems are online. right? Healing the relationship could be just like point A talking to point B, right? We've lost contact with the ship. Now, this could be literal, right? Because we do have people that are heading up into space, and it could be increasing depending on who's been building what and for how long. But this could also be metaphorical. There's many things that you can, like, if you watch a science fiction movie, you can be like, man, this is just like when I was working at thus and such a place, and all this, and all hell broke loose, and nobody would listen, and people got sick and died and all that. So it doesn't have to be literal. But this is what I'm seeing with this information. It's like a situation that's gone completely haywire, and the people involved think that, you know, it's like their life is about to be over, and there isn't a way to improve what's happened. There isn't a way to, like you can never go home. Right? There's too much distance. There's too much has gone wrong. I'm barely keeping myself alive. How can I go home and like recommunicate with people? And you see where that starts to sound like, there's a rift in the family. I can't get my hands on a functional vehicle. I lost my license. I'm in jail. That kind of stuff. But what's coming through is even with Uranus still retrograding in Taurus, right? The air to ground communication is mangled. The full moon in Taurus is sort of opening up a brief, it's like we can get the signal for like 12 hours until the earth turns the other way, and then we're not sure if we're going to be able to pick it up again. Right? It's like the wow signal, that kind of thing. There's like a brief window of opportunity to pick up communication. It's like for the duration of the full moon in Taurus, you'll be able to see the dark side of the moon. And then that innovation or communication technology is going to disappear again. Like when you shake the 8-ball and you get the message, and then the little thing in there, which is it's probably an octahedron, starts falling back into the purple liquid. On sale again for a limited time only. The method to break the silence and bring back hope. But the thing is, once you get that connection, like, holy crap, what am I going to say? And then the signal might go dead again all of a sudden. But it isn't the end. It's saying, like, it's kind of a preview of what can be repaired and fixed and I don't want to say refurbished, but it's like there's a healing and a purging and a cleansing and a reordering that's going to be coming when the Aquarian energy of consciousness, communication, technology, it runs direct again. Some of this has to do with that Neptune retrograde as well. It's you know, my subconscious is confused. Like I can't see anything. I'm out of ideas for innovation, or it's like I'm caught in a nightmare. And we'll again with that energy opening up on with the full moon, there should be like a window of opportunity to say like, oh, the clouds parted and now I can like recalibrate my map before it clouds over again. We see the moon energy there, we see that unconscious, subconscious energy there, and then this near-death experience or like perceived danger that Plutonic energy right in the middle, Scorpionic energy. All right, and we have the moon, the sun in Scorpio. God damn, the sun in Scorpio until for the first 2/3 of the month as well. It's giving that like looking at the past energy, like oh my god, what have I done? You know, like oh man, if I could have done that differently. But this is sort of like repairing the clusterfuck of what's happened. But again, it's like a limited time only. And then you have to wait another few weeks or a month and a half or whatever it is until Uranus actually goes direct for the healing to really take off. Okay. So that's what I've got here for water energy for November. It's a little bit out there. It's deep in the throngs of outer space. If you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up. I've got a complete list of readings and how much they cost down below here in the description box. That's it focused, so I'm not going to try to make it any bigger. So the list of readings is down below. I have a playlist with sample readings. Again, this reading is normally Lenormand 9 grid and usually with cards instead of charms. I've got 2 coloring books, dark poetry, merch, prints, actual art items. 17% off anything in my Etsy shop with coupon code 3star17. So you get 3 or more items, you get 17% off. That's from stuff that's only a few bucks to stuff that's, you know, over 100. I have plushies, foam lotus soft sculpture. Oh my god, I can't even talk. I've got the chapbook packs. It's like a synchronicity stimulus. It's kind of like getting a few cards, like writing and pictures and numbers. All manner of flat stuff. I got painting, drawing, watercolor, chalk pastel, etchings. I think that's it. There's some oil on paper, acrylic on canvas board. I think that's it. Drawings of other materials. Yeah, and then prints and merch on Cafe Press and DeviantArt. And if you want to get my new calendar, I updated the images. It's in my DeviantArt print shop. It's under my cat logo here. It's the only one that has the calendar, so you have to go to that one and then go into the prints for sale, and then in the tab it'll say art gifts, and then you can click on calendar and get a calendar. It's actually pretty thick paper stock. It's almost like cardstock. And they're like real bright, full color and sturdy enough for you to write on when you got appointments and stuff. And you can fill in the holidays of your choice as well, because I don't think it comes with them. But it's real pretty, and they're all like 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11. The pages. Real sturdy. With the wire, little wire loop thing in the top. So we get a calendar. Oh yeah, if you found this useful or helpful or anything, consider donating, energy exchange, hit that tip jar, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, throw a couple bucks at me. We've got social media. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.